Here, stop, play!
Back here at Roger Herring Stadium, the run-up at the kick from Sparta. It's going to be a angling kick to the right side and did not have enough momentum to get to the sideline. Now they say it did. Pangier picks it up right near the sideline, and the flag comes out right at the end. So they're going to say an illegal kick out of bounds, and Central's going to start at their own 30-yard line. I thought that for sure. It just died right at the 19-yard line. We'll see if the refs decide to have a conversation or keep it there. Meanwhile, Holman does lead Logan. 5:40 remaining in the first half there in Holman. That is a 7-0 game. 6:57 to go here in quarter number 2. Still waiting to see officially where they put the football. It should be at the 30-yard line if they threw the flag, but it looked like they picked up the flag, which was probably the right call. I think it kind of just died of its own momentum, and then Derek Pangier picked up the football at the 19, and now it says an illegal touching on Pangier. And so they're going to spot him back at the 9-yard line, so a long way to go here for Central.
Hello, football fans. Ryan here. Are we really going to spend an entire video talking about a free kick out of bounds? The answer is yes. Besides, what else are we going to talk about? The meaning of life? The inevitable heat death of the universe? How bad the Jets are? Before we begin our discussion, let's quickly break down the play. The free kick bounces near the 18-yard line. A player on the receiving team goes to pick up the ball, but before doing so, he steps out of bounds. The wing official, standing 2 yards away, throws a flag. Unfortunately, we don't see the White Hats penalty signal. Instead, we see the far more exciting action of an official asking a team for their ball. Edge of your seat stuff. Eventually, the umpire walks over to the far hash and marches off the penalty. From the 19-yard line to the 9-yard line, roughly. We don't know exactly what the crew called, but they obviously didn't call a free kick out of bounds, which is Rule 6, Section 1, Article 9.
A free kick shall not be kicked out of bounds between the goal lines untouched inbounds by the receiving team.
I've always thought this type of play was a free kick out of bounds, and I like this as a free kick out of bounds. Now, that's not to say I'm going to ignore the rule book and do whatever I want. No, not at all. I mean, I don't like spending $7 on a cup of coffee, but I still do it. How else am I going to get coffee? I cannot not get coffee. What am I, a heathen? So am I wrong in believing this is indeed a foul for a free kick out of bounds and this player made a high IQ play? Or did the crew make the right call and this player committed a foul? This is my quest to find out. The announcer said the crew called illegal touching. I don't think the crew called illegal touching, as that comes with a 5-yard penalty, and the crew didn't march off a 5-yard penalty. I think the crew called illegal participation, which comes with a 15-yard penalty, and the crew did march half the distance to the goal line. I think the crew called Rule 9, Section 6, Article 2.
No player shall intentionally go out of bounds during the down and intentionally touch the ball.
It's not looking good for me, but in the Reading Study Guide for NFHS football rules, George Dimitro writes,
when a receiving team player who is out of bounds is the first to touch a kick, the kicking team has caused the ball to go out of bounds. It does not matter if the ball is inside the plane of the sideline when it is touched.
Now, Dimitro is an expert, no doubt about that, but his book is not canon. I may think his study guide is the Bible of high school football officiating, but that doesn't make it gospel. See what I did there? I mean, anyone can write a book about high school football officiating, but that doesn't mean it's official. Even I can write a book about high school football officiating.
If you cross the goal line while hopping on one foot, the touchdown is worth 16 gazillion points.
See what I mean? And yes, I used an AI voice instead of my own to represent me. What can I say? I want the machines to take over. This type of play is also addressed in the NFHS casebook. On page 46 and page 47, we read,
R1 is running near a sideline as he attempts to catch a free kick in flight. R1 has 1 foot on the sideline when he reaches through the plane of the sideline. The ball bounces off his hands and lands out of bounds. Ruling: since R1 is out of bounds when the ball is touched, the kicker has caused the ball to be out of bounds.
While writing the script to this video, I know it's hard to believe, but these videos do have scripts. I took an online quiz necessary to work postseason games in my state of Washington, and this was one of the questions.
R1 is running near the sidelines as he secures control of the kick in flight, which is beyond the plane of sideline, while 1 foot is on the sideline.
The correct answer was a free kick out of bounds, and I got it right. Yay, I'm going to the playoffs! Then I went back to the Reading study guide and read the play example. The last line of that play example states,
It is not a foul for a player on the receiving team to unintentionally go out of bounds.
I think the key word in the preceding sentence is unintentionally. In other words, if a player of R intentionally goes out of bounds and then touches the ball, it's a foul, just like what we see in our play. Then I went back to all my citations and noticed the authors may have been describing a player going out of bounds in a more organic fashion than the player in our example. I really wish the examples were less ambiguous, or that I was more smarter. Here's a play that might illustrate the difference. Although we can't see exactly what happened, the player on R does appear to have accidentally stepped out of bounds when he touched the ball, whereas our player stepped out more on purpose. When I began making this video, my hope was to find a definitive ruling in the NFHS rulebook. Ultimately, I think this play isn't about rules, but about one's interpretation of the rules, mainly the word intentional. I'm not a state rules interpreter yet. But I don't think this player stepped out of bounds intentionally. To me, intentionally in this case would be something like the ball is 2 yards away from the sideline and the player puts the tip of his toes on the sideline, lays on the ground, and then stretches to reach the ball. You know, big and obvious, just like I want all my fouls. I'm not going to argue that what this player did was completely on accident, but I am going to argue it's not technically intentional, with an uppercase letter I. Sure, this is me trying to get my coffee for half price, but ruling this type of play as a free kick out of bounds is easier and cleaner for us officials than having to decipher if this was intentional and therefore illegal participation. Sure, it looks like the player intentionally, with a lowercase I, stepped out of bounds, but who knows? Because of the ambiguity of the examples, and the fact that the illegal participation rule rests on a definition of a word not directly defined in the rulebook, I imagine this play is ruled differently depending on where you officiate. Heck, it might even be ruled differently by officials in the same association. And I know my association would never call illegal participation here. I am not trying to say my association is right and another association is wrong. I'm just telling you what we would do. So this is where you come in. How is this type of play officiated in your association? Do you think this is a free kick out of bounds, or do you think this is a foul for illegal participation? Or am I just thick and I can't get the rules and the play examples straight? Please put your answers in the comment section below. We want to hear from you, so join the discussion and share your wisdom, insights, and experiences. I'm very curious to read everyone's opinion on this play. Well, as for me, I am off to get a $7 cup of coffee. As always, I order a double tall, triple decaf pumpkin chai macchiato with skim llama milk and 2.5 shots of espresso that's shown a picture of 12 cinnamon sticks and served in a plastic brandy sniffer. You know, something simple.
If you're already a high school football official, have a great season. If you're not a high school football official, now is the perfect time to become one. Contact the Evergreen Football Officials Association and we'll help you make it happen. Until next time, we're the EFOA, making good officials better.